what's up, Boneheads? It's Chasta and Huey back with our podcast trio, our buddy, Sam Loeffler of Chevelle. How are you, sir? It's so good to see you again.
Yeah, it's everything's great. Still in Chicago, and we're like so close to spring, and I'm just excited about being outside. Honestly, it seems lame, but I should live in Southern California, I guess.
You should live
That's
in
what I
our
have the
hood.
temperament for. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird because it's so brutally cold in other parts of the country, but we're having like 90 degrees in the city in San Francisco, which is super duper uber rare for us. So, global warming,
Man.
isn't it fun?
Yeah. Well, it was 8 this morning when my kids went to school. So
Oh my God.
That's
I know.
ridiculous.
I'm
That's
wiping my
insane.
I'm wiping my head because it's just hot right now. I mean, because the home office I'm in with the computer equipment and the sunny weather. Yeah, so I'm sorry not to brag about
Not at
our
all.
Northern California weather, but
You can
not
come
at all.
out and see us all anytime you want.
But yeah, no, Sam, super excited to talk to you. Yeah, Chevelle with Dead Poets Society going to be at the Hard Rock Live in Wheatland next month.
Yeah.
Sunday, April 19th. So go to Ticketmaster.com, get your tickets. Yeah, Dead Poets Society. Those guys are awesome. Was that the band you guys played with last time you were in the Bay Area?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Masonic.
we did a bunch of shows together with them. That whole last headline run that we did. But yeah, we love a good casino. So having them there is nice because not all the casinos want you to have more than one band too. A lot of times they just want you to come in by yourself. So
Yeah.
that I probably imagine they get people out at the gambling and the restaurants and stuff like that. But I mean, we love a good casino, and I think everybody does because you go there, it's clean, the parking's easy. We were talking about earlier about my brother meeting his wife at a Deftones concert.
Yeah.
And growing up on the north side of Chicago, to see the shows, we have to go into Chicago, which is about 45 minutes from us,
Yeah.
like anybody who lives in a suburb. And those venues are so terrible, and they're in terrible neighborhoods, and the bathrooms are is like everything about it is just like if the parking's a nightmare, and you're getting accosted walking. And if you're like, oh, we'll take the train, that's okay. You're just standing on the train platform, at 1 o'clock in the morning,
Like a
with your
sitting duck.
yeah, little
Yeah.
teenagers just kind of sitting there on the train platform. And but I mean, it makes you who you are and everything. So everybody loves a dirty rock club, but I will say that having a nice casino it doesn't go unmissed. It's a big deal.
Yeah. I understand
Yeah.
that. I relate to that being from Southern Oklahoma, and we didn't have a lot of venues, just period. I lived out in the middle of nowhere. So if you wanted to go to
Yeah.
a show, like a lot of times these casinos are the only
Yeah.
place to go,
Yeah.
but the nice place to go. So yeah, if you ever
Yeah,
roll through Oklahoma, you'll run into a lot of my peeps.
It's funny that way too about fairs, because there are a couple fairs that you'll play, but you only play them if there's no venues to go to, right? And a lot of
Right.
people will say, they'll be like, this is the only show we see all year are the fair. And like a lot of those fairs, those state fairs in the middle are out deep, and they'll be 7 days long, and they'll have 7 different shows. And they'll be like, I'm so glad that a rock band came out here. It does make a difference because it's hard for people to drive hours in the city to see one show. All of a sudden, a ticket that costs you $55-$65 becomes $600 with gas and tolls and hotel and food and all that stuff. So I get it. I don't know why I'm talking about that.
True. No, it's extremely relatable. I have to say, okay, first of all, I told you this last year, but I have told anyone I can get their attention that Brightest Blasphemy was the best album of 2025. It was up there.
Thank
there were
you.
2 albums, and it was Deftones' Private Music and yours. And I have screamed that from the rooftops. But now what I'm hearing as we sit here in March 2026 is it was actually a prophetic album. Like, you guys are prophets. Prophet Loeffler is now your name. The amount of shit on that album that's like, oh yeah, oh, they called that. Look at that. Like, it creeps me out. The last line on that album is "You sold us," talking about the war. I mean, when you end with that line, my blood runs freaking cold. It's wild to me.
Yeah, that song, I think a lot of people miss that song because it is at the end of the album. But that's about if it's the end of the world, then it was like looking at it positively. If it's the end of the world, then it's the end of war, right? It's the end of
Right,
famine.
right.
It's end of suffering, right?
It's
It's like,
everything's yeah, right.
yeah, it's a really positive way to look at it. But
Yeah.
I mean, I think we all could have probably guessed that at some point we were gonna be at war again. Not that we probably ever not been at war, because
I
we're
know.
Americans. We don't know what's happening.
Right.
Nobody's really telling us, right? Like, we're
No.
not part of the government. I don't
No.
get. I'm not
No.
in. I'm not in the briefing. That's for sure.
I know. You guys have this brilliant way of you know how some bands like Iron Maiden is a good example, or Rush is a good example, where you learn from them. Like you could get a history lesson learning,
Sure,
from those bands.
I
I feel
like
like
that.
you guys, it's like looking in a crystal ball. It's like the opposite. Like you see what's coming, just listen to Chevelle, and it's a lot of darkness, but it's very real.
It's a lot of darkness.
It
It does go
is.
dark quickly.
It does go dark, but it's real. And I was listening to it over the weekend with my husband, and he goes, "Do you think they meant to write the album of the apocalypse?" And I was like, "Right? I know, it's crazy.
I
Like you
gotta tell you,
accidentally did."
we are always writing the album of the apocalypse. It just keeps moving down the road, right?
Thank God. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
No, it's just crazy because it's almost like The Simpsons. Because remember, doesn't The Simpsons predict a lot of
Yeah.
stuff like years in
Bell
so
advance?
much
Simpsons of rock and roll. That's what
right.
it is.
So much
That's
stuff.
what it is. That what it is.
Yeah.
Well, but like Chasta said, kudos, congrats to you guys. Amazing album. We love the
Thank you.
record. We've been playing it. It's so cool. And then to see it live, at the Masonic last year, Aftershock last year as
Yeah,
well.
that was rad.
Yeah, Aftershock.
That was a really great show to be at the Masonic and do all that. We had a great day. That was a really great day.
I did too.
I have to bring this up, Sam. We have to thank you. And I know baby Huey especially is going to thank you. He met a lady friend that night at your show.
Special friend, huh?
A special friend. Yes. You want to tell that story?
Okay, man, now I'm getting goosebumps. I'm turning red right now, God, because she's gonna watch this.
Well, you're tiny on my screen, so don't worry about it.
Okay. So myself, I met up with Chasta, her husband, and our friend Chris. Amazing time, so much fun. And I'm standing there watching you guys, and I see this gorgeous woman in front of your stage. It would be stage left. And I'm looking, she's like doing security. And I'm like, I swear to God, this is the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life in person, right there in front of me. And so I'm trying to play it cool. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to walk up close to look like I'm watching the band, but I'm really just want to get a closer look of her.
It wasn't about you at this moment, Tim. Sorry.
And I'll be honest, I had a few beers in me already. Shout out to her buddy Chris for giving me the liquid courage. So I go up and I see her, and then I'm getting close, and all of a sudden I realize I step over the line, and she, as security, comes up and like, step back. Like, you're over the line. Get back. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was trying to look at the band. I'm like shouting this as you guys are playing. And then so I go back and then, enjoy the rest of the show. And then surprisingly, Chasta and Jay, they stayed to the end because that's how much they love you guys. They stayed to the end. And so we're walking out, and she comes up as security, and she's like, you guys got to go. It's time to leave, because we stayed to the very end. And I'm like, okay, we're going, and then Chasta and all of us, we walk outside the door shuts, and I tell Chasta, that's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen before. And you're like, go get her number, go back in there and get her number. And I'm like, all right. So I open the door and I go back, and she's like, you got to go. And I said, I'm not leaving until I can stay in touch with you. Or so I forgot exactly what I said. I was like, can I get your Instagram or something? She's like, okay, sure. So she gives it to me, and then I DM her and get her number. And then sure enough, a couple weeks later, she came out to Aftershock. I don't remember if you got to see her. Whatever.
I think she was there when we talked to Sam, but I can't remember.
Okay, maybe. So,
yeah.
Anyway, it's just it's been a lot of fun getting to know her, and things looking good, and I really like her a lot. So
now
awesome.
the story is Pete met his wife at a Deftones show, and you met your new special friend at a Chevelle show.
Yeah. So thank you for
rock and roll bringing that together. I love it.
I didn't do anything, but I'm glad it worked out.
You were the rhythm of the night. You were keeping the beat for everybody's hearts while they were running wild and free. So it was about you.
You gave me the liquid courage that night, and
we can thank the booze. I agree.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, absolutely. I like her a lot. So things are going good. So I'm very optimistic about the future. So thank you.
I love it.
Awesome.
So good.
Yeah, that was a great show though. I remember it very
Yeah.
well. And one of my friends came, and he's a adult friend, so he's like in his mid 50s. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we're playing the show, and I was like, oh, he didn't come before the show. I guess and I looked in the pit, and he's in the pit, and he's got this, and he's just like, sweating like through everything, and he's jumping up and down. And I was like, this is great. I'm glad that our friends are still enjoying all this stuff,
Absolutely.
because we
I will
are.
say it was like a rock and roll treadmill that never stopped. Like the
Yeah.
pit, the crowd surfing,
Yeah, it
one would dump
was.
off and another one would come up, and it never stopped for a second.
It was a level of consistency I have not seen before or
Yeah,
since. Yes.
mesmerizing. I'm so proud of us. I'm so glad we
Yes,
brought
I
that
am
kind of
too.
energy.
I am too.
Yes.
We actually, after the show too, we had found like a tiki bar to go to, and we walked
Oh
down
yeah.
to it, and it was closed, and that was a non-story. It was like this bummer. We had like a group of 15 people in Hawaiian shirts, and we're all standing outside this closed bar.
That's hilarious. We have
Yeah.
several. So next time you're in town,
Yes.
we'll
Uh-huh.
we'll tell you the ones that are open late. We
Okay.
can take you out to the tiki bar. We'll have to
Sure
get our
thing.
Hawaiian shirts ready.
Yes. I
Well,
appreciate that.
let's talk about the latest record. Like I said, it's amazing what you guys have done. Like, 10th album in, you guys are just crushing it right now. All cylinders are the machine is moving just great. Is it, you think it's partly because you guys recorded it at your brother's house for this album? Like, was it versus like going on location to somewhere else to record an album? Was it different, like, or better to record at Pete's house?
I don't know. I think every one of them is different. Every one we do with Joe Barisi is different.
Yeah.
With every producer is different. It really just becomes about the collection of songs at the time. And like we thought Neurodius was going to be like, I don't know. I kind of thought it was going to be the end of the world. I think we all did at one
Oh
point
yeah.
for our
Yeah.
band and all that stuff, because I was like, I don't know if anybody can pick up after COVID and
Yeah.
do any of this again. And Neurodius, that album kind of kicked our butts because it was everything, and it took so long. It was so much work. And then we were working on this one, and honestly, without making it boring, we were at a point where about a year before we delivered the album to our label, we were like, okay, I think this is mostly done. So we delivered it,
Okay.
and they came back to us and they were like, this is not the record you want to put out. I promise you. And it was a stunning sort of like, you need to go back to the drawing board. And we talked about that song Shocked at the End of the World, and we had put that at the beginning of the album. And I think that had set a tone for people who were just like, this is too, because
It was
that
too
song,
dark.
it was too dark. Yes, it was too dark.
Okay.
So that at the time, if I remember correctly, I think that was 8 songs, and we ended up taking 2 or 3 of those songs out and then writing new ones, and then basically changing the other 5 and adding choruses and but it really, at the time, we were just sort of gutted, that we're like, well, crap, we put all this into it. And so we spent another year, literally another year working on it. And it became this album, and it is so much better for it, because it just takes somebody telling you, hey, this is not good just because you did it, or not good just because you think it's good, And if you can take yourself out of that and trust somebody, in this case, it was our one of our label guys, but a friend of ours named Danny Wimmer. And Danny told us, he said, look, I don't think this record's done. And we said, well, what's not done? He goes, but I don't think this is the record you guys want to put out. And having him push us like that, man, he really took a risk, because we could have come back to him and said, shove the album right up your ass, and we're gonna put this out, because how do you tell somebody that their art isn't right? But but it was so good that he did it, and it became a much better album for it. And every time we do it, Pete looks at me and says, I don't think I can do this again, But yesterday I laid drums down to a song. So we're writing all the time. Pete's always writing, and I think you just do it because that's what you do,
Yeah. It just keeps coming back around. That's an incredible connection that you have with Danny Wimmer, that he trusts the relationship enough to be that bold and honest, because that's tough.
Yeah.
You know what I find interesting? Like, yes, I was joking around about the darkness. I mean, it's obviously dark, but there is this there is this sort of hopeful tone to it. Like whenever Pete sings The Great Unknown, just that line to me, there's like this, wow, we're about to get really deep. This is going to turn into like a, are we on mushrooms kind of conversation. There's like this moment where it seems like the universe sort of opens up into like, what's next after all of this ends? Like you were saying, like it is the end of war. If it is the end of everything, what is next? But it feels hopeful to me, and that's strange to say, but I get that feeling when I listen to it.
Well, I appreciate you saying that because it is true. Because Pete and I, we just because of who we are, we struggle sometimes to see. I think everybody does to see the positive in a lot of things. So we make a point to not focus on the negatives all the time because it's very easy to go dark. It's very easy to go doom and gloom for us. So we really have to be aware all the time. And Pete is, I appreciate that he's my partner in this. He's always trying to be a better person. He's trying to be a smarter person. He puts real effort and energy into being smarter, being kinder, being more self-aware. It's just a thing, right? And we do that together. And I think that's where that is that you're like, all right, I know this is broken down on the side of the road, but I'm gonna make a real effort. And it doesn't always work out, right? Sometimes you can't do it. Sometimes you just dig a bigger hole and then you get in it and cover yourself up. But
it's interesting. I have followed you guys, for 20 plus years now, and I have always connected with both your darkness and the fact that you guys do have that light and that you are kind people. In fact, I wore a pin today, and this is like my mantra to myself, and it says, do no harm, take no shit. And I feel like you guys resonate like in that way. So if you ever want to write this mantra, do no harm, take no shit. Because you do have that hard edge, and like we can fight and we can go there and we can conquer, but with love and light. So love and light.
That's right.
Yeah, fully respect what you do.
Yeah, that's funny you said the love and light too, because that's a story I like to tell in the song Wolves from this album. He says love and light in it.
Yeah.
And that actually came from our production assistant, Katil. And because things were like, sometimes things were so dark, and she would just always be the positive, yoga master, just being like, love and light.
Just got to sprinkle in a little light here.
Right. Yeah. So we took it, and Pete, and that's why he screams it. It's like an aggressive, like love and light, right?
Yes.
And it just feels like very like, it's sarcastic, but it's also true.
Yeah, well, it's like you're pulling it from your toes. You're like, and it has that feeling to it.
Yeah, we haven't been able to start this show out with that song Wolves yet, but we would like to, and we're going to get there. We've played it a few times. It's just really, really intense, and if you don't know it, I think it just it's like somebody just kind of like using one of those Theraguns on your face.
It kind of punches you in the gut. I know. It's true.
It's very Star Wars-esque, like obviously the dark side and the light side as well.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you think the darkness is what made, because you guys are getting heavier as you're getting older, into your career? Like a lot of bands might do the opposite. They start out heavy and then get lighter, as the years go by. But you guys are still bringing it.
Well, definitely the smart thing to do is to get lighter as you go and then expand your audience. That's for sure true.
Yeah.
Or you can do what we're doing and just not do that. But you're right. I mean, I think it's just whatever the songs are coming at the time, whatever they're coming. Pete's like, I'm listening to Rammstein, and that's the music that's coming up. At the time. So you can make choices. Sure. If somebody says, oh, I need a song for the Mr. Rogers movie, you can, you can shape that. Of course you can. But when it's your own music, it's just whatever is coming up at the time. So, I mean, So I think if he wrote an acoustic album, and we went on a tour for an acoustic album, we'd be playing very small shows.
You inspired by Rabbit Hole. We had a conversation on our podcast a couple weeks ago about rabbit holes that we've gone down. Yeah. And there's a lot of topics, the cult topics and things like that you guys have covered.
For sure.
What's the weirdest rabbit hole that you have found yourself going down online?
Well, one of the ones, this is years ago, was the whole Earth being pulled into the sun, and the whole
Yeah.
thing about in 3 trillion years the universe will expand so much that the entire thing will go dark because the stars
Yeah.
are not going to be able to reach the fuel that they need to burn. That was a that was
That's a
something that
heavy one.
is heavy, right? And I remember I was sitting at the bar with my friend Phil, and I brought it up, and he was like, "I think I lost you there for about 5 minutes." And I realized, like, oh, not everybody finds that as warming as I do. So, but I
I
often
love
say
it.
that. I'll be like, well, this didn't work out today, but it doesn't matter because the Earth's going to be pulled into the sun, and it's not going to matter.
That's right. Yeah, and none of it matters. I mean, the truth is, it doesn't. None of us get out
It
of it
doesn't.
alive, so none of it matters.
No, I like Pete. Pete and I like to say all the time that anybody who tells you that they know is lying.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. But some people speak with a lot of conviction.
They really do. That's the difference between a cult and a group, I suppose.
That's right. That's right.
That's very
Nailed
true.
A group,
Well,
a group
now-
of friends and a cult of friends.
Exactly. Well, now with AI, it makes things even more difficult, like trying to figure out what's real and what's not real anymore. I mean, it's amazing since last time we talked to you, just even the last like 6 months, how much AI has progressed. And
Yeah.
it's as a tool. I mean, you could have such a long debate about AI. Chasta, you and I, we were talking about just kind of like the pros and cons of it. I don't know, kind of your thoughts on AI right now and just where it's at.
I find that if I said to you, here's a switch and you can turn off all the AI that's incoming to you, right? Whether it's YouTube or any social media or your email or Google or Safari or whatever it is you use, everyone would switch that off. And then they would use AI when they need it, right? They would go to their chat GPT or whatever, and they'd use it then. I don't think anyone wants AI in every single thing. Yeah. I don't think there's a person who wants that. I don't think even the people who are developing it want that. So what the fuck are we doing? It's beyond me.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It really is. It's because like, case in point, like, I fell down a rabbit hole, like just scrolling, and like I see people now using AI to make like Star Wars scenes, like their version of Star Wars scenes with the characters. I saw another one. I was telling Chas, I saw like someone recreate a scene from The Office, but had the Avengers come in there, and then it's crazy where it's like creatively you can come up with a scenario in your head, and then use the prompts and execute and create something out of that, which on paper seems great to be creative, but then you're using people's likeness without their permission, and where are the boundaries now at this point?
There are none. It's a moral conundrum.
No boundaries, and again too, it'd be kind of like fun if you're like, okay, I wanna go see that, but you have no choice. It's in every single thing you do. Even even people making videos of things that are real, you realize that they added some AI stuff and didn't tell you. I saw this video there, and guy's explaining he's in a car, so he's got in-car camera, and he's explaining his race. And then somebody called out that he had actually added cars that went by him that were AI. I was like, what's the point of that? Like, what good does that do? Like, it was just for nothing.
A flex.
It muddies the waters too. Like, right now when you're watching war coverage, you'll see coverage that are bombs, but then they'll amplify the bombs as if that's something we need with AI and make it look crazier, look cooler. What the fuck? Like, what are we doing?
Why? I don't know. I don't know. That whole thing with like seeing the war footage too is really kind of funny, because speaking of rabbit holes, I didn't realize that every country has laws against recording anything that has to do with war. So not even just not sharing it, but if they find it on your phone, it's illegal, and it's every country.
Too.
I did not know that you're not allowed to, and they're like, oh yeah, because it's national security. So that made sense.
Everything's posted, right? Everything is. There's nothing behind a wall anymore at all.
Although I've struggled to get to that point in my life when something's happening in front of me that I go, oh crap, I'm gonna grab my phone. I just
Yeah.
never think of it, so I miss it all.
Good.
Oh well.
That's good.
It's in
You
here.
lived it. And it doesn't matter
Yeah.
because we're going to get sucked
Yeah.
into the sun anyways. Who cares?
Exactly.
It's all just have it in your memory, and that's all that matters. Okay, I do want to make a hard transition because Huey and I, the last at least two times
Yeah.
we've talked to you, have wanted to tell ghost stories or hear ghost stories from
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Because you, from what
Uh-uh.
we understood, and we just always get caught up in other things and never get to it. Didn't you guys record in a haunted studio? Didn't you have that experience?
I'm trying to think of all the albums that we've done and where.
Let me see if I have it in my notes.
I thought
still.
Huey had found it. I don't remember the name of it off the top
Let's
of my
see.
head, but
Their song Highlands Apparition.
Highlands Apparition. So
yeah.
Pete and I lived in a house together
Okay.
with two roommates, this little house. And the room that I lived in, basically everybody that slept in there, it wasn't a bunch of people, but there was a few, said at some point that during the night somebody touched them. And it happened, like, even my sister, when I was gone, she was staying in that room. I remember she slept in that room for like a couple of weeks because of transition between apartments. And she was like, yeah, it freaked her out that she felt like at certain times. And what the funny part about that is that one day I was sitting in the front room and I looked out the window and there was this woman standing in the front yard. So I went out and I was like, hey, what's happening? What do you need? And she's like, oh, I used to live here. I grew up here. My dad's buried in the backyard. So we're like, oh,
for real?
That's what she said. And then I was like, I said,
Oh.
hey, so do you mean like you dug a hole and put like a dead body in there? Or are you saying that you buried his ashes in the backyard? She's like, oh yeah, his ashes buried next to all of his cats and stuff. So it wasn't as bad as I thought it was.
I mean,
I don't know. Is it? I mean, you know,
extra
apples and oranges.
extra step involved.
Extra step involved, yeah.
6 of one, half a dozen the other. That is wild.
Yeah.
So with that being said, what do you believe? Like, just truly for Sam's own purposes, what do you believe happens besides the sun sucking us up and all that?
Well, first of all, that song Highlands Apparition, because the house was on Highland Avenue. That's why it was called Highlands Apparition.
Okay.
I can tell you that there is every single bit of evidence that nothing happens after we die and no evidence that anything happens after we die. But, we can all interpret our own experiences, and that's the only thing we can do, right? Because we don't know what anybody else's experience was. So that's what I believe. It's not very fun, is it? It's not a very fun thing.
It's interesting because you said earlier, anybody who tells you for a fact that something is a fact is full of shit, right? So it goes right back to that same question.
Well,
it's all sort of cyclical.
I mean, that's more specific about God or religion, about anything. Anyone who tells you that they know, like, lots of people will say they believe, but when they say they know, you're dealing with a different argument.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah. So, but I mean, that's all. I'm not telling anybody that they're right or wrong. That's my point, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can only follow with the things that you go through. That's all we can do, and just hope that that whatever we go through in our lives is not the only thing that we use to make decisions, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you can, your experience is yes, but at the same time, your experience may not be the same as somebody else's. So anyway, that's all very long and boring. Sorry.
I love it.
I love hearing that.
Good shit.
Because I want to believe that there's more to this life, this reality, than we can like see or touch or feel.
Yeah, me too.
Like, I love it. I mean, I would love to believe that there, something out in space somewhere. There's someone in this room with me right now that I can't see or talk to. Yeah, I love hearing that. I would want to believe, just live in that fantasy.
I fully believe. I believe enough for the rest of us. So don't worry. I got it.
There you go. That's perfect.
I do want to ask real quick, talking about, recording at home, this last album, but like you recorded at the Palms in Las Vegas years ago. I just for me, that seemed like such a distraction, like working in Las Vegas. Like, I mean, how, like, I feel like it could have been, like, how does the Palms even have a recording studio? Like, how'd you guys even end up there?
Well, the Palms has their studio on the 3rd floor. So,
Okay.
and it's a whole big studio. I mean, when we were back, in the day when we were there was a long time ago. That was like 19 years ago, I think,
Yeah. Yeah.
when we were
Okay.
in there. But Britney Spears was in there one day,
Yeah.
or she was supposed to come in to do something with
Yeah.
Elton John, and Elton John showed up, and Britney didn't. So it was one of those things.
Britney
But
ghosted Elton. That's wild.
yeah, but he was fine. Elton was great. Um, dude, that place was rad because like you could go like we could go and take the regular hotel elevator to the third floor and we could get in, and then
Okay.
there was an internal elevator that would take you down to the inside of the Palms, and you could just jump one elevator over and it went straight up to the clubs, like right at the kitchen
Oh,
level.
wow. That's
So
fun.
we got found out within a few days of doing that, but we did it for a while. It was pretty great. But
You're living the high life.
it was so funny because yeah, you can't do whatever the hell you want, no matter who you are, right? You still gotta like have somebody hook you up because it's all about the club, right? It's all about the
Gotcha.
Yeah.
line.
Yeah.
So we
It's
so we
the
would go to
proof.
these clubs at night, and it was so fun. But we had really good work ethic, so we would start
Okay.
doing that like at midnight. And but
Yeah.
what ended up happening was, and I've told the story probably a million times, was that at the end of the night, we would end up getting drinks and we'd go out to valet right outside the door. And then it was like this drama of all these drunk just people
Oh, yeah.
fighting and
Yeah.
coming out, like a lot of relationship like just detonating on their way out. And we would make this joke about how you can't, like, these people would, like, they show up to the club and they're dressed to the nines and they've got their watches and they've got like all, their hair and all that stuff, but you can't, it's a lot harder to fake the car, right? So you'd have these
Mhm.
Mhm.
people dressed to the nines and they come out and then they'd have like a normal car or worse
A
than
Kia.
normal,
Yeah.
like a real bad car. And but
Yeah.
but in the club they were trying to sort of sell this image, and I guess you have to act as if, but that's what the song, um I think is I think it's called Gucci, what's it called? Gucci something from Venus Air. I can't remember. Oh, Gucci Clan. That's it.
Gucci Clan.
Yeah, and that's what it was about. It was about see these people all looking like they're dressed to the nines and then just falling apart when they walked out the front door. These terrible
The
fights. We had a
poser
great
life is
time.
real.
Yeah, and that's okay too. Like no shade there because it's fine, but it was just funny because that was the real drama was out in the
Yeah.
valet, you know?
Yeah. That's so great. Reality
Nobody
show
looks good under
playing
those
out in
valet
the
lights. That's for
No,
sure.
it's a whole different world outside the club, that's for
That's
sure.
right.
I would have to imagine that's a very different vibe from recording at Pete's house. Like maybe Huey brought
Yeah.
up a funny idea. Like,
Well,
did you have a curfew?
yeah.
Like how does that work?
I think the nice thing about recording at Pete's house was when you're not paying for the studio and the producer's time, because Joe was happy to work whatever hours you were working, but he was also there, right? So he's like, well,
Yeah.
I'm here. Let's get this done. And we had that feeling too. Whereas Pete's house, we could feel burnt in 4 or 5 hours and then just be like, all
Yeah.
right, we're gonna go get dinner. And that
Yeah.
that really made things a lot more relaxing. And working with
Yeah.
Kemble is great because Kemble he's just such a chill guy. And
Mhm.
Mhm.
but you never really stump him, which is great too. So we just, any problems we came across, we just worked them out. It was very casual, and things have always been casual with Joe. I'm not comparing that point, but being at your home and with your family and all that stuff, and not being away in California and trying to condense this whole process into
Mhm.
the 4, 5, 6 weeks that you have is really nice.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll
That's
keep
really
doing
cool.
that.
Yeah. Well, normally we wrap our interviews with our favorite question, but we've asked you a few times before, what do you love about music? So I thought, you know what? I'm going to take a lyric of yours and wrap it into a question. So the song Vitamin R, the lyric says, it's art that moves us along. And I
Mhm.
was listening to that thinking like, that really is so important right now. Like the role of art in everything that's going on in 2026. How do you feel about that? Like what do you feel the role of art right now is?
Well, I think it's the same as it's always been. And if we had more people concentrating on it, right? It
Mhm.
would, everything would be better. I mean, it's that same way with kindness, right? Kindness is the answer to literally every single thing. It fixes every single problem. And with art, when we can focus on what we're talking about is creating something, right? And
Mhm.
what do you
Mhm.
feel after you create something? And it doesn't matter if you
Yeah.
you know, if it's a painting or if it's a piece of music or if it's a charity and you went and you put on a play and with a bunch of kids, like when you're creating something, it's impossible to not feel good from that. And
Yeah.
I think it's unrealistic to think that we can all do that every day in our jobs, but we can do that in our lives for sure. So, I mean, the role of art is the same. It's always been. It's as important and more. It's more important every single day as the world grows. It's more important. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think that's
What
such
the
a
hell do
powerful
I
word.
know? I'm just a drummer and some.
You know a lot. I'm telling you, Prophet Loefflers. That's what I'm calling you and Pete from now on.
It's an ever-ending existential crisis over here in the Loeffler household.
It is, and I'm a big fan of it.
Well, that's why I encourage everyone, go out and enjoy art in the form of
That's
live
right.
music. So go see
Yeah.
Chevelle with Dead Poet Society at the Hard Rock Live in Wheatland. That's going to be Sunday, April 19th. Ticketmaster.com for tickets. And of course, check out Chevelle's latest album, Bright as Blasphemy. That's out now. Check it out. Check out their website, get a physical copy or stream it, whatever the case may be. But dude, so much fun talking to you. It's
Yeah,
just incredible.
we appreciate the support. You know that. Absolutely.
I know. Congrats, Chasta. What was it?
It was last
number
week.
one.
You were number one, right?
Yeah, Pale Horse. Yeah.
Yep.
Who knew?
I love that freaking song. We knew.
I know.
Yeah.
I've said this to people. It might be the best song we've ever written, although it's not the most memorable song but as a song and it might be the best song we've ever written. I don't know.
I would say I would agree. I think for what it's about, the time and place that it is in, and what it stands for, the meaning of it is incredible right now, and people I think need to pay close attention. So you're number one, and we'll do everything we can to make it stay that way.
Thank you a million. We appreciate it.
You bet. Well, we'll see you soon. Thank you so much for your time, as always.
Okay, we'll see you soon.